Wow, more bad news for Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, that's $Boxing Ego, and the Patreon family. We working. Before I get started, use my link to get ESPN Plus. ESPN Plus, they have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage, and more for your viewing needs. ESPN Plus, they have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries. It's $5.99 a month as a standalone app, or you can get the bundle. ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps for one price of $12.99. I personally have all three and use them. And use my link to get that. More bad news for Boo Boo Andrade. This is a DAZN reporter, Chris Mannix, and he posted this. Says Dusty Hernandez Harrison has contracted Rona 19 and is out of the scheduled fight against Demetrius Andrade next weekend per sources. Andrade is off the card. Will likely go straight into a fight with Liam Williams or Billy Joe Saunders next year. Now, at this point, Andrade he must have the worst luck of a skilled boxer that we've ever seen. Like, this is crazy, bro. First of all, and I'm not even disappointed on the fight because Dusty Hernandez was a guy who is a career 147, and he lost to my dude Mike Dallas Jr., even though they didn't give him the fight. But so I wasn't really even looking forward to this fight. However, Andrade must have the worst luck in the world. He just seems like he's continually mismanaged, and nobody knows what to do with him. You know, when something, I don't believe there's that many coincidences in the world. And when something keeps happening, then usually it's more often than not a coincidence, and it's just a pattern. And that's what it's becoming with Demetrius Andrade. As skilled as he is, it's becoming a pattern that his fights fall apart. He gets names that people aren't like really stoked to see him fight, things like that. So I think they did the Disowned Curse continues. I think they did a spotty job and a horrific job even promoting the fight. The opponent selection was horrible, and the Disowned Curse continues. Dusty Harrison, he's a good fighter, but he's been inactive. He is no longer with Rock Nation. He's a career 147, and they were talking about this fight happening at 168. At first, they said this fight was not going to take place because after the fight was announced and this graphic was made, see, like little stuff like this is a waste of a graphic designer's time, making all these graphics for these DAZN fights that always fall apart. So for starters, they announced the fight. It was met with criticism. Even the great Errol Spence Jr. said, come on, Andre, you got to do better than that. Dusty's cool, but at 168, there's somebody else that you could be fighting. And people didn't really seem too thrilled with the matchup to begin with. But later on, the DAZN curse struck, and they said Dusty Hernandez was over 200 pounds and wasn't going to be ready by the fight date. Now, allegedly, he has the Rona, And if he does have it, I wish him a speedy recovery. But this is becoming, like, I'm really starting to believe, and I'm not a big conspiracy theory person and stuff like that, but I'm starting to believe people are using this Rona in boxing to account for fights that fall apart or need to be rescheduled or scrapped altogether. And since this is something going on in the world and it's a reality, people are just using it as a scapegoat. And me, I don't play around with stuff like that. Like, if the fight got scrapped because he's not in shape or whatever, I would just say that. But it's all too convenient. It's all too convenient that every time a fight is not going to happen, they keep saying is because of the Rona and all this. Luke Campbell, Ryan Garcia. But then Luke Campbell was posted pictures, and days before, Luke Campbell did an interview and said that he was going to knock out Ryan Garcia, but days later they say he has a Rona. And then now they've mysteriously bowed off of the Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, which would have killed them anyway with the bigger fight. They bowed off of that date, and now they just announced today that the fight won't take place until January 2020. So that stuff looks a little suspect. Then we had rumors that Dusty Harrison wasn't going to make weight, and he was overweight, and then now conveniently they're saying he has the Rona. So I'm not really believing all these Rona cases. So you mean to tell me, out of all promotions, DAZN had a lot of people that got the Rona, like Jorge Linares, and then the Javier Fortuna fight was scrapped. Dusty Hernandez Harrison now. You had Luke Campbell, and this is just some of the fights that are being canceled. Other fights are being canceled for other reasons as well. They said Alexander Povetkin got the Rona. Like this is just crazy. All the PBC cards, and not everyone's like failing with the Rona. I don't know, man. It just looks weird. So Povetkin White's not happening until later. Got postponed. Povetkin got the Rona. Andrade's opponent, who they were just saying couldn't make weight, he got the Rona. Luke Campbell, he got the Rona. Like, what are people doing? The people aren't at home with their families and quarantining. Like, it's looking a little bit shaky to me. I'm just being real. Look at that. That's all fights. One fight's in November, and then 2 of them are in December. I don't know, man. It looking shaky. But needless to say, Andrade ain't fighting next. And the bad thing for Andrade, he must have like the worst luck or whatever, because this is just crazy. And the bad thing is this: when you're not sharpening your skills and active and stuff like that, you might end up losing to somebody who you're not supposed to lose to. You get what I'm saying? Because if he does go into the Liam fight, I forgot the Liam dude that they're talking about putting him in there with. He's a puncher. They both have a mutual opponent in Alan Tez Fox, and Andrade, I think, went the distance with him, and Liam knocked him out. So you go in there with the like pretty big puncher who moved up in weight, feeling good at the weight, and he's been more active than you, and you get caught with the wrong shot. Andrade could mess around and lose to someone that he's not favored to lose to. Not like a Charlo or Triple G or Canelo, just because he's not even being utilized right. He last fought in January, so if he doesn't fight until next year and then jumps right into British, it sounds like Eddie Hearn's setting him up. Inactivity, can't get him the fights, can't get him like dope fights that keep his skills sharp, right? And then you're going to put him in with Billy Joe Saunders, an English-British fighter, or another English fighter, the Liam dude. What is the dude's name? I keep forgetting. Liam Walsh. Hold on. Liam Williams. I don't know why I kept forgetting. My bad. So, just the inactivity is killing Andrade. Stuff like that is killing him. And it's ironic that old media, when Gervonta Davis, there was one time where he only fought one time that year against Jesus Cuellar, and he knocked him out, former champion, who had already fought Abner Mares. People couldn't stop talking about how Tank was inactive and needed to go to DAZN. But now you don't see those same old media people saying anything about Andrade, and he's been inactive. He's fighting one time this year, and when he fought against Lucas Keeler, that wasn't against a former champion. Andrade, he may be the greatest skilled fighter with the worst career management and everything. And it's just getting to the point of sad. They just said they were switching out Harrison for another dude and didn't promote the fight. And then now they're saying Harrison is sick. So why? I thought Harrison was out of the running because he was too big. So now Andrade don't get to fight again. Man, it could be bad. Like I said, I just feel bad, bro, because Andrade's brand, I knew about Andrade as a boxing fan and reporter before I knew about Charlo. But the Charlos have eclipsed and surpassed him in terms of their branding. Meanwhile, you have DAZN trying to clout chase the Charlos for Andrade. It can't happen. It can't happen. It's just like Crawford. I get it. Crawford's beast. He's saying he wants 60, 40, 50, 50 with Errol. It can't happen when these guys aren't being branded the same. One person can't do the heavy lifting, and then you sit back and have fights falling apart, inactivity, non-pay-per-views, no numbers, no asses in the seats, and then you just get the big fight. And I think Andrade versus anybody at the top level is a great fight. But DAZN, Canelo came back to DAZN and still ain't giving Andrade a shot. He giving Caleb Smith a fight, right? When Canelo was, before the lawsuits and all that, before he left Golden Boy, still didn't give Andrade a shot. They on the same roster, same label. That's like Tupac and Snoop being signed to Death Row in 95 and 96, same years, and they don't do a song together. That's like Snoop and Dre not working together, but they're all in the Death Row offices, all in the same building, all with the same people. Andre can't get Triple G. I mean, this is just getting sad. Now his fights are inactive. Artur Kovs and Mad Selesky after Rosado drops him, after Jacobs beats him. And then DAZN really wants me to believe that Andre Charlo is a big sellable fight, but they've been doing a horrible job of promoting him. So Andre's going to have to figure out a way to get free, break free, or demand more attention to his career. Like even Andre versus Chavez Jr., that would have been solid last December. I'd rather have seen that than Jacobs, because I already knew the outcome with Jacobs. Well, that's the latest. Let me know how you guys feel. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.